Another Crusade is wrapping up a Kickstarter at the moment that I'm recording this, and I wanted to get this video spotlight up now in case people are interested in checking it out. So we play this on one of our indie dev showcase streams, and this is essentially an attempt at making Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, but without all those Nintendo properties and whatnot. And what we have here is a good foundation, although we did run into some issues with the balance or just the general gameplay. But our story is that we play as this knight here, who has been called on to save the land from demons that are taking over. So, as you can see with me hopping and skipping around, that if you play Super Mario RPG, then all the basics in terms of the gameplay should be very familiar to you. There are no random encounters on the map, and you are free to run, jump, and attack enemies to gain initiative as you explore looking for your next path, as well as bonus secrets and hidden upgrades. Now, when it comes to combat, it is kind of like that active combat system from Legend of the Seven Stars, in that you are able to increase your damage or increase your defense by properly timing presses of the A or B button respectively. And the game itself is definitely set up to take advantage of that. Later enemies in the demo that we played had like multiple attacks that you could pull from, and you'll have to properly do your timing even if the attack is not fully represented on screen, such as like an AoE blast from a spell. And the game is definitely set up to provide a good variety in terms of combat, puzzle solving, and exploration. Now, there's even the option that when you level up, you can choose what stat to upgrade, and the game will randomly choose a stat that will get bonus stats. Now, at the end of the demo, and what you'll see in kind of the next part of our video here, you do get access to a second character when kind of the game really gets complicated. And I did like the overall aesthetic. I know some people are complaining it doesn't look as detailed. They're kind of going for like a wooden toy kind of puppet aesthetic to the game, but it did look unique and distinctive. With that said, the gameplay does have a few nagging points, and I'm hoping that if the game does get its Kickstarter funding, that we do get to see more refinement and polish of these core elements. And we're going to talk about that next, but first, a quick break. And now for a quick shout out to our current Game Wisdom supporters and sponsors. Going forward, all Patreon supporters will get early access to our videos. And if you'd like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, linked down below. If you're looking for more wisdom about game design, be sure to check out my latest offering of books, 20 Essential Games to Study, aimed for first-time developers and students looking for some inspiration for their upcoming games, and Game Design Deep Dive Platformers if you're interested in anything regarding 2D and 3D platforming design. They're both available in print, digital, and wherever books are being sold. Before we begin this part, it's important to point out that the footage that you're seeing is taken from the Kickstarter demo of Another Crusade. So if this game does get its funding or is released and you're watching in the future, what you see may not be indicative of the current version. So with that said, playing the demo, the basics of Super Mario RPG and that kind of active turn-based combat system are definitely on full display. But I did run into some issues. First is the timing of how attacks work. This game is very strict in terms of the proper button pressings and kind of the context-sensitive commands to get bonus attack or defensive values. And like during this fight, it just seemed like by the time I hit the button in reaction to the animation, it was already too late to do the proper hit. I almost had to time it before the attack was in order to do that. And that got very annoying. You're going to see it in the footage here. When you see like the AoE blast that this guy does, like, I'm not even sure how you're supposed to know the timing to avoid it. And that is definitely a major issue because it's going to lead to a lot of difficulty with trying to deal with some of these bosses. Now, the fight that you're seeing is the end of the demo itself, and the entire goal is you're supposed to use the water to weaken him so you can do damage like this. And if you are bad at getting the timing down or having trouble, then you're definitely going to need to rely on items. But that does raise a bit of a problem. Because because the encounters are fixed in this game, you can run into a situation where you don't have any more gold to buy the potions you need, and there are no more enemies to fight to get said items. And that is definitely cause for concern. And I'm kind of worried, again, about just how difficult this game is going to be in terms of the timings. In Super Mario RPG, the timings were very generous in terms of being able to get attacks off, and it felt like the animation and timing was on point. Here, it kind of felt like some of the animation was either sped up or missing some frames, and that was also screwing up my ability to get these hits in. Now, I did manage to beat this boss on my second try, but that was after going through a lot of items and getting really lucky with some of my timings. And because every character has their own distinct timing for their attacks, it means you're constantly having to react to that. So with that said, I did like Another Crusade. Again, I love the original Super Mario RPG, and I like it when games do something more active, just as the Shadow Hearts series. And if you are interested in watching this video at the time of posting, the Kickstarter should have, I think, about a week left to donate to it. I'll include a link to that in the description down below. I'd like to thank the developers for getting in touch with me and letting me know about this game. And if you are working on your own game that you'd like me to take a look at, please get in touch. Come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Once again, this has been the Another Crusade Kickstarter demo, and I will see you next time. Take care. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel link down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.